and I just thought it might be a nice time to do some quick Q&A on human courtship, which is what this book series is about. Let me flip the view here. There we go. All right. So we've got step 9 out of 9 of romantic dynamics. The third phase of courtship is intellectual attraction. And so this is the third of 3 steps of intellectual attraction, or step 9 out of 9 of the overall human courtship process. And there's a part 1 book. Let's see how many pages this is. Well, it's over 300 pages. And then the same is true of part 2, 300 pages. So 600 pages just for one step of courtship. And I thought I would read the first chapter of step 9, what step 9 is going to be all about. And the first chapter says, his tests and their goals, with a quote by Groucho Marx. Man does not control his own fate. The women in his life do that for him. Here we are, entering the very last step of human courtship with step 9 of 9. Only what you're going to find is that our courtship is not a straight line, but a circle, cycling back over and over to the beginning, to refurbish the sexual attraction, to maintain the friendship, and to keep redirecting our joint and personal goals as we change over the lifetime. This sounds like courtship could fail at any point, now or in the future, that we are all, especially the man in today's sociology, on the bubble, waiting for it to burst, which sounds like a horribly stressful way to live one's life alone, let alone in love. Except for the first full cycle of courtship has an exclamation mark at its very end. If 2 mature, high-character people, and that's important to screen for pathologic narcissism at every step, otherwise you're not playing the same game as the other person. They're playing the game of what's in it for me, and you're playing the game of love. So I warn you about that at every step. But if 2 high-character people come together, that means non-narcissistic or very minimal. If they come together in a commitment and they memorialize it with the power of words, meaning marriage or partnership, in a set of vows especially, because vows are for life, then the legal contract of marriage, which is separate from what commitment is. Commitment's psychological, marriage is legal contract. Then they have made a lifetime promise to be true to their word. So step 9 of 9, and let's go to this. It says step 3, but it's step 3 of intellectual attraction, where we are going, achieving life's goals together. And there's a typo already. But achieving life's goals together, and meaning your individual personal goals, as well as the goals of the couple, the joint goals, both matter. However, your personal goals, which you could call your life's purpose, typically women like that word better, and men like the word mission. I'm looking for a diagram. Your mission or your purpose personally needs to be achieved through courtship. And then there are also the joint goals as a couple. That actually adds up to less total, maybe surprising to you, less total than the 2 sets of personal life's goals for each person, no matter what your lifestyle background or whom you're attracted to. 2 partners need to meet their joint goals, which is a small set compared to the at least, more than double set of individual personal life's goals, which could be called a purpose or a mission for your life. So that has to be accomplished in this step 9 of 9, where we are going together as a couple. There goes the plane. As well as, if we're talking about a man and a woman, which is over 90%, of the world, then the man also finally tests the woman at this last step. The first go round of the whole courtship system may lead to lifelong vows, possibly. And before those vows take place, they've called it cold feet, getting cold feet before marrying, but more often in the male. Although it can happen for the female too. You get spidey sense vibes, something's wrong just before marrying. The biggest reason that would happen for the male is if he has not tested the woman for two things, the same two things she tests him for in step 3, which are an understanding of his own masculine instincts and her feminine instincts that's going to last for life, and the level of his character and the match of their character for each other to be a good team together. Because why would you get together with a person in the first place unless it was going to benefit both of you, but that includes you, more than being alone, more than being single. So there we go. Let's see if there are any questions. Looks like I could possibly add Jeremy. Let's try that. See if we get him to come on. I'm going to see any questions that come in. Hey, Jeremy.
Hey, what's up? Well, I'm on a 15-minute break from a training that I'm providing. It's actually very funny that this is the timing here. So,
that's hilarious.
yes.
As you can see, doing a bunch of yard guard, things like that.
Yeah. Very cool. It got a little bit choppy there. I couldn't hear. It's chopping up, but it's probably the internet.
How about now?
It's a little bit better.
Okay. Yeah, I'm doing a bunch of gardening this morning, but some books came in hardcover.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Very
We'll
cool.
try your part. All right.
Happy Sunday, everyone.
There we go.
So I saw the Until Dawn movie, and it was pretty interesting.
Oh, you saw the interview?
No, well, what interview? What I meant the movie Until Dawn. What interview are you talking about?
Until Dawn.
Yeah, it's a new horror movie, and well, let's just say there's a psychiatrist who's very prominent in it, and I thought it was pretty interesting. So it's about fear.
Are you able to say what psychiatrist?
Oh, yeah, it's a fictitious one. So it's more like I didn't want to spoil it. So there's basically this psychiatrist played by the really good actor Peter Stormare. So he is, I don't know what ethnicity he is. I think he is some kind of Dutch or Norwegian, but he is that would probably be the last name. I think his last name has like 2 little dots in it. So that sounds pretty Nordic to me. But he played the devil in Constantine. And he's played a lot of really good characters. And so he plays this psychiatrist who is watching people's reactions to fear as they have to relive the same night repeatedly and try to avoid dying. And so I'm sitting there watching it thinking about, oh, well, they need to get EMDR. Obviously, that would end the movie pretty quickly.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, well, it's always
Any chance you have earbuds?
Is my audio not good?
Oh, I'm getting an echo of myself.
Oh.
Maybe through your device.
Okay.
I'm going to flip again. I was just telling you guys that last step of human courtship. The man has to test a woman, finally. for understanding of feminine instincts, masculine instincts, and level of her character. Yeah.
Testing.
Love your logo.
Oh, thanks.
It's just great.
The fox head.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great.
Oh, these things might have died. That's the fucking problem. No, they didn't. Oh, here we go. Wait. Okay. AirPods. Yes, AirPods. It's just not. Oh, I know the issue. Hold on here.
Anyone joining, feel free to submit questions.
Yeah, say something inside.
Since we started, since we started talking about the last step of human courtship. Good way to go backwards and look at everything.
Oh, it's pairing to.
Well, 5,000 ages total.
Okay, no. See, here's the problem. It's wanting to pair to the computer. Is it testing? Am I on here now?
You're on. Yeah.
No.
The only thing is myself.
Hold on.
Through you.
All right. Well, here's the problem with that. It's gonna be bad because I've got a Zoom meeting I have paused during a break. So
it's okay. When you gotta go,
it's doing it on my computer. No, it keeps connecting these to computers. So that's the problem. That's why it's good to have some earbuds that are non-Bluetooth.
Joinable.
But I don't think I have those anywhere that I could get to quickly. That
anyway,
that's
okay. Since you're limited on time, I'll just ask you to respond. What I started this with was just spontaneously. I finally had some really high quality hardbound books come in. They're at textbook cost because they're by an textbook maker. And I was just showing people, and I was thinking about this last step of human courtship. I'm showing the quality low here.
right.
You know, it's like this beautiful hardbound book with great art.
Yes.
You know, Renaissance painting. And I was telling people, you could respond to this before you have to go. I was telling people the two objectives of the very last step of human courtship, my 9 out of 9 step, I call where we are going. That means as partners. And it's where vows might take place your first time through the whole courtship process. And when we say vows, we mean lifelong promises to the other person, no matter what happens, right? Through illness, poverty, rich or poor, sick or healthy, right? We are promising no matter what, we're going to stay together for life. And that is commitment. And commitment is a psychological process and concept, not a legal one. The legal one we just call marriage. And you could do whatever you want with lawyers on that. But that's not love. That's not romance. That's a legal contract. People could get together and make vows and not do a legal contract if they want. That often happens these days. But in the very last step, what's required are two things. And it's not all about the man, but it's got to be a little about the man for scientific symmetry. And if science is perfect and beautiful, then it has symmetry. In step 3, the female in a heterosexual couple doesn't have to be heterosexual, but the more feminine person in the heterosexual couple will test the man for two things in step 3, which are how masculine is he? Does he understand his own masculine instincts? In other words, is he initiated into mature masculinity? If he is, he understands what to do, how to be, how to achieve things in life, and how to please her. And then secondly, what is his character like? Is he a mature, good person, as Aristotle would question? What is a good person? And this, frankly, that has to be tested at every single step because we have to screen for pathologic narcissism the whole way because it may come out later. And if the person is highly narcissistic compared to you, then they're playing a different game entirely from you. Oh, you gotta run. Okay. Okay. Didn't get a response, but, to put a period on the sentence, as they say, what has to happen at every step is you're screening for pathologic narcissism. And if you find it and it's high in the potential partner, then they're playing an entirely different game in life than you. They're playing the game of what's in it for me? How do I get supply? While you are maybe unwittingly playing an entirely different game from them, which is the game of love, which, these courtship steps are only about that, as well as screening for narcissism. But you're playing different games and you can't win because you're playing by a set of rules. They're playing by an entirely different set of rules. However, if they are in it for love and you've gone this far and you're both thinking about committing for life to each other, at least at this cycle of the 9 steps, it's a circle, not a line. You go back to the very beginning, step 1, once you get through step 9. But if you're both playing the game of love, then 2 things need to happen in step 9, the final step of the cycle, which is the man finally tests the woman, which you see in the concept of cold feet in the man before committing, walking down the aisle. The marriage is for the woman. To the ancient Greeks, a marriage, the reason we all dress in tuxedos and so forth, dress in black, black and white, and the bride is in white, is because it is a funeral for a girl to the ancient Greeks and the birth of a mature woman for the rest of her life to the ancient Greeks. A wedding was a funeral. So I thought you might find that compelling and interesting. And before the man's truly going to commit for life in this way, regardless of the legal contract of marriage, whether you do that or not, that's a different thing. If you're committing, the man finally, whether it's witting or unwitting, he needs to test the woman for 2 things, the same as she tested him way back in step 3. The reason she tests him in step 3 is because the stakes are much higher for her regarding becoming intimate physically. The evolutionary psychologists talk about this all the time. So she has to test way at the beginning during dating, screening the man for his goodness of character with a lot of tests, which I call the tests of Artemis. Those are tests of character and also tests of how masculine he is and how in touch with his masculine instincts he is, which could only come about through what we call the 4th imprinting process for humans in romance, which is initiation, the concept from anthropology. I think initiation is a 4th imprinting process. I know this is a little bit sidebar, but it's a 4th imprinting process for humans where they go through an initiation into a social group that's going to last for life. For example, I'm a doctor, so I really feel an identity and a deeply felt set of skills and conduct that goes with that, and a cultural feeling of belonging that goes with that. And that's going to last me for life. Whether I were to keep doing this for life or not, I would always feel that belonging. And that comes through the initiating process of surviving medical school. Surviving, I say on purpose, because initiation involves what feels like do or die situations you must transcend and learn skills and quote, survive, pass. You get a passing grade, as well as you go through a lot of emotional turmoil and you survive that. You tolerate it and then grow from it. So that's initiation, the 4th imprinting process that establishes your identity. That I don't believe that has been proposed in psychology as yet. But that's why the woman has to test the man for his masculine instincts. Is he initiated into understanding those instincts, making the unconscious conscious. Well, here, finally, step 9, the man has to do that for the woman, where he tests through expressing his masculine instincts. Does she not only tolerate them, but welcome them, or even see them as an advantage to her life's purpose, progress, growth, welfare, safety, security, all the things masculine instincts automatically provide her if she will accept them or even encourage them. And also, does she understand her own feminine instincts? Meaning, has she been initiated into a sense of identity through a peer group, through tribulations and trials and travails, and, quote, passed with a passing grade, and learned something about herself and grown from it? So that has to happen. Quote, the man tests the woman, right? There's a whole chapter in step 9 on that. And then a second, equally important concept that has to go on is right here. The two become as one, as all world religions talk about regarding marriage and commitment. The two become as one, where this center mandorla almond shape is their joint goals as a couple. Notice the square area is much smaller than the sum total of the man's mission, his life's goals, and her purpose, her life's goals. All three of these have to be met. The joint goals of the couple, the goals of the man's mission, the goals of the woman's purpose, all must be amplified by being together. Otherwise, why be together if you could be single? You could be single and find just attraction. You could be single and find friendship, or attraction and friendship. But if you're going to be committed, that means partnership. And that means the second aspect of step 9 is they have to be relatively assured that not just the partnership between them, the goals of, well, like I'm doing today, gardening and yard work, that the family needs are met, but also that the very personal man's mission is amplified by being with this partner, and the woman's purpose is amplified by being with this partner. So, looks like no questions, but hopefully you find that food for thought, something to think about. Step 9 of human courtship. The hardbound book just came in to me. This is part 1, and then there's a part 2. There are 300 pages each just for this step, 9 of 9. So you can imagine the total pages I've written the last 10 years and not published until now. Steps 1 through 9 of human courtship. Thank you, guys. This has been Dr. Paul for my personal Substack, as well as romantopedia.substack.com, and also menspsychology.substack.com. Thank you very much. Talk soon.